Let me know where you are signing in from. Super excited today to be talking about a really important topic, one that can cause a lot of confusion for people. And it's one of my favorite topics. It's something that I think intuitively a lot of women understand and practice it, but they've forgotten maybe, or they get confused when they've forgotten
Oops,
maybe, or
I have
they
my
get.
laptop here. Sorry.
You don't need to hear me twice. So, we're talking about how to be a trophy wife and why she is actually the ultimate boss babe. Okay. So, the first thing I'm going to say is that there are way more quiet trophy wives, kind of like quiet luxury, than people realize, who are just simply living their life, having, freedom of time, energy, space, money in their life, being adored and cherished, but they don't look like or act like what you think is a trophy wife. So a lot of times what happens is that anytime Pinterest or Instagram and now TikTok and other new social medias, anytime we take a concept away from its original form and turn it into an aesthetic, beware. Okay, I have seen this happen with so many things, and I'm sure you can relate as well. Think of the whole concept of minimalism, right? At its core, at its raw, it means a certain thing. But then social media takes it and it says the minimalist aesthetic. Well, you could have a very minimalist aesthetic house and not really be a minimalist because you're not really following the core values of what minimalism actually means, right? It's the same thing with the whole millionaire aesthetic. You could aesthetically look like a millionaire, but not be a millionaire. It's the same thing with the whole old money aesthetic. You can look like old money, but that has nothing to do with your actual bank account or lifestyle. Unfortunately, the same thing has happened with the whole thing with trophy wives. Okay, so here's the definition of a trophy wife, speaking from evolutionarily, spiritually, polarity wise, feminine, masculine energy. So, in the most simplest terms, a trophy wife means where the man that you're married to sees you as the ultimate prize. He adores you, cherishes you, and he doesn't see you as an equal. He sees you as sort of this reciprocal being of what he's providing. Okay, it has absolutely zero aesthetic attached to it. In fact, women in the Asian culture, a lot of them live as sort of quiet trophy wives where the man adores them, cherishes them, provides for them. They don't look like, your Beverly Hills, California trophy wife because they don't know about that aesthetic, right? They that memo hasn't reached them yet. So as you can see, a lot of this is not only cultural, but it's also promoted by social media. So if you think that the California Beverly Hills Barbie doll is a trophy wife, that can create a whole bunch of limiting beliefs in your mind. And then you start making stories around why you don't get to be a trophy wife or why no man is going to find you to be a trophy wife, right? And so you could be a trophy wife by being the girl next door because the man that you're with, your husband, adores you, cherishes you, and sees you as the ultimate win, like the ultimate prize. So you could be the hiking, fit girl aesthetic and be a trophy wife. I have seen women that are like 200 pounds overweight from their what's considered their like average BMI for their body shape and their height and everything be trophy wives. I've seen women that would not fit the California Barbie doll aesthetic at all be trophy wives. Actually, I have tons of family members like that that you would not even know from seeing them walking on the street that they are trophy wives, but indeed they are. They're fully provided for. Their man loves them, cherishes them, adores them, is 1000% committed to them. I've also seen women who are supposedly trophy wives. Either they've been featured in reality TV shows as trophy wives, they live in California, in Beverly Hills, have the aesthetic, have the house, have the car, and then you hear in the news that their man is cheating on them or has a side chick. That's not an actual trophy wife, because evolutionarily speaking, you're not going to cheat on the prize, right? You're not going to do any kind of thing that would sabotage from you having the ultimate woman of your dreams. Like, you just wouldn't do that. So this whole aesthetic thing has us really screwed up in the brain, and it has us creating all kinds of stories and limiting beliefs. So from now on, just take a dry erase marker, eraser, and like you have to almost wipe off your brain of anything that you have ever known about trophy wives. Okay, this is actually going to be a deep healing module that I'm going to be doing in my new Wifed self-study program. Newsflash, I'm going to make a quick announcement. So you guys know my group coaching course, Wife 2023, is fully sold out. I know lots of people have been emailing us, but no, we're not taking any more people for that group coaching. My intention was that after that group coaching is complete in May, that I would take the recordings and turn them into kind of like a digital self-study program, and then it would be added to the university bundle and sold separately. But so many of you guys kept asking, when is that going to be available? When is that going to be available? Which made me think, why am I making everyone wait until May? Like, as we start the classes next week, you can have them in real time. So I have opened up the cart now officially for Wifed self-study. And this is going to be sort of a self-study where you enroll and you get the digital recordings as I'm teaching them, as they become available. And I'm going to be adding homework, journal prompts. I'm currently talking with my team to see if we can also add a community feature so you can connect with all the other students. I haven't put that on the sales page yet because I'm not 100% sure. But for the next 48 hours, I'm doing a pre-order sign-up price to celebrate this launch. So if this is something you've been waiting for and DMing us and emailing us, then now is the time to sign up. So I have that in the description box. And Team Universe Grew is here in the chat. And so what we want to hear from you right now, while I make the next announcement, is that if you hadn't heard what I just told you, what were your limiting beliefs when it comes to the trophy wife? And then I want to start talking about why she's actually the ultimate boss babe and how you can be both if that's what you desire. Because in our world, we shouldn't have to choose. I get to be both. I get to be a boss babe. I get to be a trophy wife. I get to be all the things that I want to be. So what is it that you thought was trophy wife? The second announcement that I have is that Armand saw how excited the community was and how excited I was about this self-study Wifed program. And so what he's decided to do is he's offering a limited time special reading called the Wifed Reading. And this is a human design reading catered to your dating scenarios, why you're attracted to the wrong type of people, why certain type of people play hot and cold with you, why you're not attracted to the people you should be attracted to. So he's going to read your human design chart and extract all of the relationship, dating, all of that yummy stuff and provide that for you in one reading. So Armand, if you would drop your email so that they can email you to get more information about that. Okay, so I love that we're able to combine these two things. So I'm going to read some of your limiting beliefs. Someone said a trophy wife has no assets without her man. She's not very smart. See, that is such a limiting belief, right? I have heard that too. In fact, if I'm being very honest, I used to believe this. I used to believe this when I was in my young early 20s. Okay. Trophy wife is seen as young, dumb, and only with him for the money. He is only with her for the looks. And this is such an interesting limiting belief because evolutionarily, there is some truth to it. And my husband always says that half-truths are the most dangerous because evolutionarily speaking, what will get a man in the door with a woman who falls in love logically? So evolutionarily, women fall in love with logic and men fall in love with emotions. So his emotions need to see you as attractive and have that gut level reaction. So not Beverly Hill attractive. Some men are very repelled by that look, okay? It's not that look, but the look that he desires, the look that gets his DNA going, right? And evolutionarily speaking, women fall in love logically, which means he can provide. So there is half truth to that. Okay. And unfortunately, Western women have forgotten this, and they've actually been sold a lot of lies to keep them from not getting them. I feel like the Western woman's entire genome is at stake right now because they've been lied to. They've been lied to that we're like gonna be gold diggers if we go for the thing that all other species go for. Like birds are smarter than us all of a sudden. Like all other species are smarter than us, right? So I can relate to that when I used to think all of these things, that she's stuck up, boring, and has no freedom, right? And the funny thing is that the only women that I know that have the ultimate freedom in life, okay, this is just what I've seen, are the women that are trophy wives, because they get to do whatever the hell they want, whenever the hell they want to. Because when someone sees you as a prize and just adores you and cherishes you and loves you, they want you happy at any cost. And so they will move mountains, swim through waters with sharks in them to get you the thing that you desire, just naturally, right? Because they love you. Okay. So trophy wives come in all ages. Okay, repeat after me. Trophy wives come in all ages, all body sizes, all colors of the rainbow, all hairstyles, all Pinterest aesthetic styles. I've seen, by the way, one of my friends has a sister who is like the poster child of what used to be considered like, I don't know what the official name is. Sorry, I'm old. I don't remember like the new age terms, but in my day in high school, it was like known as like the gothic, like the goth aesthetic. Sorry if I'm offending anyone if that's not. I feel like if you're born before 1985, I say this to my kids all the time, you should be exempt from being politically correct in a lot of areas. So don't mind me, I don't know the official lingo. So, older people say embarrassing things. So the, she is like that poster child of what in the 90s was considered like goth style. It is so funny even seeing her fiance because he is like the most straight cut, white, suited, booted. Like I'm talking like suits every day with a tie, briefcase, like someone you would see on Wall Street guy, and has like a very white collar corporate job. And he adores this woman and just proposed to her. I think it's been 6 months now, and just, I mean, she would be hanging out with us and her phone would be blowing up and she's like, oh, he just Zelled me money for my nails, he just blah blah blah. And she works, she has her own business, but like that's a trophy wife, or going to be a trophy wife. She's a trophy fiance right now, right? She doesn't have the Beverly Hills. I keep wanting to say Bollywood for Beverly Hills, so if I say Bollywood, I mean Beverly Hills. Okay, she doesn't have that look, but she's got all the right things to get his heart, right? To have him providing for her and just cherishing and adoring her. I love seeing couples like that. It tickles me. Yeah, I think it's so cute. So let's see. What she always has to please the man no matter what. Constant responsibility to keep him interested in and engaged. More limiting beliefs coming true. So here's my next question for you. If you are one of those women that want to get wifed up in 2023 or whatever year you're watching this in, because I know this is going to turn into some kind of a bonus in my digital course later, in whatever year you're watching this, I'm going to keep it evergreen. If you didn't have these limiting beliefs, if you didn't have any of these limiting beliefs that you just wrote out, or you see other people writing out that you resonate with, what would you allow yourself to have? What relationship would you finally allow yourself to have? Like, what would be your soul's hell yes? A big one that I keep hearing, by the way, is if I'm a trophy wife, then I have to let go of my business and I love my business. People will say things like that to me. And I'm like, what? Where's the trophy wife rule book that says thou shalt not be a boss babe if thou wants to be a trophy wife. Like, it's just funny when you put it that way. And the thing is that you and him are a dynamic, living, evolving, breathing human being. And you're going to have different phases in your life. So when I got married to my husband, I did not work for 9 years of our marriage. I became a stay-at-home mom. I had a business, by the way, a thriving business at that time. I let it all go. I became a stay-at-home mom, moved to his state, his city, his house, sold my condo, let go of my business, and I did the whole stay-at-home mom thing for 9 whole years, doing my inner work, making new friends, reading tons of books, like doing the things that I wanted to do. I literally made a list of all the things that I ever wanted to do but couldn't do because of lack of time, energy, money, freedom, all the things that I didn't have before. Made a list and was like, check, 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 check. Just did those for 9 years. After 9 years, when a new life cycle began, if you study numerology, we all have these 9 life cycles. And in those 9 years, a completely new life cycle, because it was like the old Mina had died and a new person emerged. And then I wanted to do something. I wanted to have a business again. I have entrepreneurial blood, right? Like, my mom was a serial entrepreneur. My dad was an entrepreneur. I just have it in my blood. And after 9 years of doing the stay-at-home mom thing, I was like, okay, well, I want to do something else now. What do I get to do now? What's the new level now? And then I started this business that you see on November 17, 2017. And then does that mean that when I started my business, I stopped being a trophy wife? No, right? In fact, our relationship through my own inner work and through me living my best life got even stronger because we keep evolving. Sorry, is that my Alexa device? Sorry. So I think I hear her somewhere in the house. Okay, so as I started evolving and he started evolving, we got stronger in our relationship. We got more robust, is the word that my husband uses. And so uh, what you need to know about being both a trophy wife and a boss babe is that first and foremost, you get to have options. Okay, I love it when women have options. Some of us are in the life cycle stage where we only want to be a boss babe. We don't want to even think about relationships. Okay, do that and do it well. Do it the top 1%. Some of us are like, you know what? No, I don't want to be a boss babe. I just want to be a trophy wife and I just want to relax like I did for 9 years. Like, I just want to have my babies, raise my babies, do my own thing, make my mommy friends, shop, go on vacation, eat good food. Okay, do that. Some of us do that and then fully enjoy it, okay? Then some of us are in the phase in our life cycle where we're like, you know what? I like both. I don't want to give up my boss babe status. I don't want to give up this beautiful thing that I've poured my creative juices and my energy, my literal baby, right? Your business comes from the same creative energy that creates a baby. But I also want to be adored and cherished and provided for and really delicious and yummy in my relationship. Well, guess what? Guess what? You get to have both. You get to have both. And that is what I'm deeply, deeply teaching in my new wife training. So you definitely need to be in that course. And actually, even if you're married, but you feel like you bring more of your boss babe than the trophy wife in your relationship, girl, you still need that course because the transmissions in there will set you straight of all of the limiting beliefs that we often have and the lack of container. So what is the difference between the energy of the trophy wife and the energy of the boss babe? Let me see what you guys are saying. I am in a transition. It can be tough from stay-at-home mom, trophy wife to work career. The other way is tough too, believe it or not. I totally feel you on you. When I decided I was going to give up my business and become a stay-at-home mom slash trophy wife, I really, 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 really struggled with it because since the age of 16, I had didn't know what it was like to not work. And like my whole identity was tied into providing for myself and my son. So yeah, the opposite can also be tough. Those transitions, there's almost this element of grief in it. And so if you really do follow through those phases of grief, I was literally on a call yesterday with a private client giving her these steps, and she's in a huge transition in her life. And so, there is sometimes this hard fact of like facing what you're giving up. And so I had her write down all of the things that this previous lifestyle that she's transitioning out of had provided for her, like really celebrating all of the things and extracting the wisdom, like writing them all down. And then, like, through some sort of a ritual practice, rituals are really important for the divine feminine, especially for our subconscious. Letting, like, extracting the juice from that wisdom and knowing that it's become a part of me, and then either like burning that paper, burying it, drowning it, or something, like doing something where it's like, okay, and now that I've extracted all of the magic, I choose to let this go. So when I had done that with my business, I realized that the lessons that I had learned from my previous business, it had given me a lot. It had empowered me as a single mom. I had a failed marriage and a son from that marriage. And so it had empowered me. It had given me options and choices. I had learned how to speak my mind, how to have employees, how to set boundaries. And so I wrote all that down, integrated it, and I realized when I started this business that I was using all of that. Like, it was all a part of me. So nothing was at a loss. It was just sort of an alchemy, or like a rebirth process. Speaking of rebirth, we have our Rebirth Houston Intensive happening in 2 days. I am super excited to be seeing you guys. That is also sold out. So sorry, I keep talking about stuff that's sold out, but we're gonna have another one for spring. So make sure you are on my email list, which you can join in the description box. Okay. So what is the energy of a trophy wife? Let me have a sip. Someone said, I'm scaling back my practice to start a family this year. This is perfectly timed. Beautiful. Okay. So the energy of a trophy wife, more than just a freaking aesthetic. Anytime I see an aesthetic of something, I'm like, oh no, now we're gonna lose the actual meaning of that thing. And of course, aesthetics are fun, but now we create limiting beliefs around, how we have to look to have that thing. So the energy aesthetic, I should say, the energy embodiment of a trophy wife is one of luxury. So you've heard me talk about before in my other courses that feminine energy is the more luxurious energy, because you can't have feminine energy without masculine energy. So if no one is available to provide a masculine container for you, you have to then set your own masculine container, right? Think of a cave woman in the back in the days. If there were no men available using masculine energy, then the women in the tribe had to use their own masculine energy. And it's nature's fail-safe system. It was designed that way, that in extreme cases, if all the men got killed for some reason in a tribal war or something, that the genome would still be able to survive. So when men use masculine energy, it comes from a place of natural grace, because it's their natural state. In fact, the more they use their masculine energy, the more relaxed they are, the more themselves they are. When women use their masculine energy, they're, after a certain point, it's a fail-safe mechanism. And the thing with fail-safe mechanisms is that it puts a lot of pressure on the thing. Like, think of a car, right? If you are just driving that car normal, right? It has one driver, and you just kind of like drive the car how it's meant to be ridden. It's going to serve you a certain way. It's going to be long lasting. It's going to look nice for a really long time. Like, it will serve you the way it's designed to serve you. But let's say that for some reason, I'm not sure why I'm using a car example. I don't know much about cars. Let's say that you're doing something unnatural with this car. Like, let's say the car is not designed to be off-roading, but you decide that you're going to off-road on this car every single day. Well, can you do it? Probably can. Is the car now still going to be in its original form? Is it going to look the way that it would have looked if you just drove it like it's supposed to be driven? Is it going to last you as long as a car is meant to last you? No, because you're using kind of a backup fail-safe mechanism all the time. So this is why women who overuse their masculine energy, which we will right now call the boss babe energy, if you overuse that, those women tend to start aging faster. There's more autoimmune issues. You see that there's an acceleration of a lot of like stress processes and aging processes, right? Because they're running on the backup fail-safe system all the time. So when I say what is the energy of a trophy wife, it's the energy that when you are in the presence of your partner or even by yourself, you know how to switch over to your natural energy, meaning you are easily able to get back into a state of calm, zen, and functioning how you were designed to normally function. Okay. And so you are not burning through the limited testosterone that you have as a woman. Like, we can't argue with science, right? Women have a lot less testosterone than men do. And so they have different capabilities when it comes to requiring testosterone, because we just have less to it. Less, and if we have a fail-safe system, the signal that we're sending out is that high alert, there's no man around. I must borrow energy from wherever I can because I'm going to die, which means my children might die, which means that nature will not progress and the human race will end. That's the signal you're sending. Well, what if you're sending that signal 24 hours for 30 years? Okay, now you've started borrowing energy from essential vital organs. That's why you see a lot of those issues coming up with autoimmune stuff, adrenal fatigue, right? And so if you don't know how to transition into relaxed, feminine, luxurious energy, you will never be a trophy wife, because the energy that you bring in is so repelling to the masculine, healthy man that at best, you can do the whole roommate style thing with him. And I work with a lot of women that are extreme self-aware Barbie, extreme boss babe energy all the time, even in relationships. Put that over there. Don't do this. Do this. Do this. Oh my God, I was getting my, okay, side note. I was getting my nails done the other day, and I saw this woman get out of the car. And the reason I even noticed her is because it was like, what's that animal? The cartoon? Was it the Roadrunner, the one that like zips through and like runs? Sonic. I think I'm thinking of Sonic. Like something that just like, so she got out of her car, and I swear I could, she walked so fast that I couldn't even see her coming. Like I didn't see, my eyes couldn't register her steps moving. Like she just zipped through. She flung the door open. She was on her phone, and her movements were just, I thought someone had like God had plus like times two on this movie right now that was playing. And she walked in, she's wearing a workout outfit. Her bag is here, beautiful woman, very, very young, early 20s. And she starts barking orders at the staff. Get me my water, blah, blah, blah. I'm gonna sit down, I want this, blah, blah. And then dashes to the restroom. And it was just like, whoa, I have a headache. Okay. That's the boss babe energy on hyperdrive. On hyperdrive. Well, a lot of women try to do that in relationships. Okay. Now you've put him in your employee category or roommate category or whatever category, and he can't see you as a trophy wife because that's not the energy that is coming literally from you. You could be dressed as a Beverly Hills, California, size 22 waist, big boobs, like all the things, trophy wife, and be doing the whole self-aware Barbie thing. And you are not a trophy wife because that's not what is registering to him. So men need to feel proud that the luxurious feminine energy coming from you is something they contributed in, because evolutionarily speaking, feminine energy is the more luxurious energy. Someone needs to be keeping watch, providing the hunt, protecting, and like making sure everything is running smooth so you can be relaxed. so you can be in your feminine energy. When we don't have that, we step in as the provider, right? We have to, as the protector. That is nature's fail-safe mechanism. Okay, so how I've done this in my life, and this isn't everyone's answer, obviously, I'm just giving you inspiration and kind of think of it as like an aesthetic almost magazine to choose from, and then use it as a template and make it your own. Okay, so when I had married my husband, when we got married, I was a stay-at-home for 9 years. I said I was doing my inner work, all of the stuff, and then I decided to start my own business. And when I did start my business, it just hit the ground running. And that's just kind of my thing with business. It's in my blood. All I know is to how to be successful in business. I don't know how to fail. So I just hit the ground. And so of course, all of these questions arise in my mind of like, okay, well, what does this mean? And how are we going to do this? And I made a lot of mistakes with my energy in the beginning. Like I would go in overdrive with my business sometimes because I freaking love everything that I do. Like it's my heart and soul, right? And so I had to, along the way, I've had this business for 5 years now. Along the way, I've had to constantly retweak and relearn and unlearn and be more and more and more in my feminine energy. And so one of the things that Irfan and I have been teaching in our $1,000,000 Man course is the behind the scenes of how we've done this, right? So when I'm in my business, I give myself certain hours a week where I give myself full permission to use my boss babe energy, to use my masculine energy. Okay, like those are scheduled times in my calendar. And this year, the change I've made in 2023 at the time of this recording is that I'm bulk doing a lot of things. Instead of working 2 hours every day, 5 days a week, which is what I was doing in like 2022, I've done it where there's 2 days a week where I'm working sort of more hours, like 3 or 4 hours each day. And then I have full days where I'm just only using my feminine energy as much as possible. Like that's my next level. That's what I wanted to do in 2023. So there are many ways you can do this. And so what you'll see with women that are doing this right is that they will have a very feminine and relaxed energy and a youthfulness, a feeling of like what my friend Chris called like well watered, like well taken care for a woman. Like I think what people would call like a kept woman. But then at the same time, they have this amazing other thing going for them. Like they have their side thing, their business, their thing that they're doing, and they're able to beautifully, switch between the two. And so this is something that every year I get better and better and better at as my own embodiment increases in those areas. So that is how I would describe those two energies. Thank you so much. Thank you. And so, Lily, we're almost wrapping up, but I want to mention again that instead of waiting until May of this year, we are now enrolling for Wifed Self-Study. I know many of you guys wanted to sign up for the group coaching, but unfortunately that is sold out. I knew like what was the right number of the women that I could hold a group coaching container for. So if you want to be a part of the group, the self-study, that link has been pinned. Arman, if you would please drop that again in the chat, and it's also in the description, and we'll pin it to the comments. This is a limited time training, so make sure that you watch it before we take it down. Heather Ann, hi babe, I haven't seen you in a minute. She said, men need to feel proud that they have provided for the luxurious feminine energy. How amazing does that sound? Yes, okay. They want to provide that for their mother, for their sisters, for their wife, for their daughters. Like I used to, so when I would go to like my like parties and things from in my culture, like where it's like all Pakistani Indian people, I would notice that what I thought men were complaining, like they would be like, oh, my wife is always shopping and all she does is like shop and hang out with her friends. In my like westernized like early 20s brain, I was like, what a prick, he's always complaining about his wife. Then one day, one of my friends' husband was doing the same thing. She was like talking to us. We were all sitting in like these round tables. He walks up to her And he goes, "Are you ready to leave?" And she's like, "Yeah." And she puts her purse. And he said, I will never forget this because it was like a whole aha moment for me. He said, "Well, you look like you're ready to go shopping again." And then he looks at me and he's like, "This one over here, always shopping." The way that he said it, for the first time ever, it clicked. And I was like, "Oh my God, they're not complaining, they're bragging." It hit me. They weren't complaining, they were bragging. Okay? She's a stay-at-home mom, okay? She's a trophy wife that he's providing for. And because she is the reciprocal of that, she gives him that feminine energy. She is like the true reciprocal of that trophy wife in that moment. And then she looks at him, she side-eyes him, and she says, "I would never go shopping in like these, these Eastern clothes." And so they were like bantering back and forth. And I had angels singing in that moment. I was like lost. Like I was like, "Oh my God, they're not complaining." And I see when I got married, this was, I had just gotten married. I had just gotten married and moved to South Carolina. Then I started noticing my husband doing the same thing and realizing he was not complaining. He was bragging to people that, "Look what I can provide. Like look what an amazing man I am, that I have feminine energy here." So when a man doesn't have a wife that's in her feminine energy, he feels like a loser. Because what signal he's sending out, you as a couple, what you're sending out is that basically when you're in your masculine energy with your man all the time, you might as well wear a shirt that says "with loser," because I have to activate my fail-safe system. Okay? And most of the time, you guys are not with losers. You are just acting like you are by constantly being in your masculine energy. So that's what they need. That's like they're like men earn the man card from other people's assessments, from other men, from like people in the tribe saying, "Now that's a man." That's how they earn the man card. So he can't get the man card where you've got boss babe over here acting like he's not capable of anything and she's got to do everything, right? So what you're telling the tribe, all the people are, "He can't be a man, so I'm just going to activate my fail system because I can't trust this loser over here. So I look like a woman, but I'm actually a man." Okay, that's the signal you're literally sending out. Kristen said, "LOL with loser." Yeah, that's how he feels. That's how he feels. So here's another thing that I want to say. This is like life changing. My students at the university I lecture at love you. Africa is falling in love with you, Mina. Oh my goodness. Is that where all of my like African clients have been coming from? This is hilarious. Oh my goodness. I love this. Thank you so much. Amazing. Okay. So let me give you, what was I going to say? Oh my God, I think I lost my train of thought. No, I remember. Okay. So here's what actual trophy wives do really, really well. If you can master this, all of your relationships, not just with men, but all of your relationships will change. Ready? Okay, here we go. Every single human being, some of you guys have taken my courses and heard me talk about this. I'll share a funny story from our lives recently. Every single human being imagines or sees the world as this movie playing. Okay, it's just how we're like kind of like wired and how our eyes are. So our eyes are not a camera, it's a projector. I've talked about this before, right? So because of the way that our physical and energetic makeup is, the way we experience ourselves living life, I'm getting a little bit in the metaphysical right now. The way we experience ourselves living life is that we are all in a movie. So right now, the way that I'm experiencing life is that this is the Mina Irfan show. I'm Mina Irfan. This is my camera. I'm talking to my people. And so in my movie, you guys are characters. You are a character in my movie. But if you reverse this, from your perspective, you are in your own movie and I'm the character in your movie. From your perspective, you are the main character and you are watching me either on your tablet or phone or big screen TV, and Mina Irfan is just one of many characters in your life. Okay, everyone with me so far, right? It's like, okay, duh, but we don't think about this, right? Now, the thing is that every single person is thinking this. And people who think that there is only one movie playing suck at relationships. Put this in the chat, okay? If you think there's only one movie playing and you are the lead star of that movie, congratulations, you probably suck at life and at relationships, okay? And a lot of people can fall into that automation. What trophy wives really, really, really well understand is that in a relationship, there are kind of like three movies playing. And actually, if you have children, there's more than three. There's your movie, there's his movie, and then there's like the movie of the relationship. And so, what trophy wives have mastered, and actually men as and the husbands, the reciprocal of trophy wives too. Oh my God, they're so good at this. They're so good at this. Okay, this is the most important thing you will hear me say today. Understand this, and you will own relationships. Is that sometimes in a relationship, I need to be the star of my own movie. Okay, sometimes in relationship, I need to be the star of my own movie. And sometimes in my relationship, I need to be the side role in my husband's movie, meaning I'm just the lady on his arm. I'm the sexy, cute trophy wife on his arm. Boss babes can't do this. They really struggle with this because it's just their movie. They're in fight or flight. They can't lose that control. So for example, if as I'm doing this, I'm not aware of my husband's movie right now. He's in his home office, he's doing something. I'm not aware of it. I'm only aware of my own movie. Okay? I'm also aware of your movie because I'm trying to project out what you may be thinking or feeling. Now, by the way, our brains are exceptional at this naturally. Our brain, the human brain, is so freaking amazing. And so scientifically speaking, we have there's scientific proof of this, that before we say something to someone else, we internally project out very, very quickly, like in a flash second, how they will react, what they will say, and if we should change our words or alter what we're gonna say so that that person doesn't get upset with us. And then in record time, we do this. And this is an evolutionary tool because we didn't want to get kicked out of the tribe. We wanted to make everyone happy. So I'm aware of your movie, but I'm playing in my movie, right? I'm speaking my heart's truth. I'm saying the things I need to say. Let's say that my husband comes and says, hey, Mina, get ready. Tonight we have to go to a business meeting. A boss babe would show up at her husband's business meeting as if what? As if she's the star of the movie. As if she's the main character. Bad idea. Bad idea. Okay? You cannot be a trophy wife if there's only one movie. And this is where boss babes fail. They're gonna arrive at that movie, be correcting him by speaking over him, not making him look good, not making him shine. He's gonna be like, oh my God, why did I bring her? Right? All of the stuff, or like keeping his distance. They don't know how to be a part of someone else's movie. But a trophy wife will put on that red dress, do her makeup, whatever she's wearing, right? Shows up, and in that business dinner, guess what she's doing? She's not the main character. She's there to make him look good, to make him shine. She's the wife. This is why men go for certain types of women, because they know how to do this. They know how to do this. Really, they know how to switch movies. Now, Irfan knows how to do this really, really good too. So men can do this too. So if we're at a in-person intensive, let's say, okay, because my family will often show up in my in-person events and my children will too. My children and my husband know that right now they are playing a part in mommy's movie. They're there to support mommy, right? You're not going to see my children having tantrums, or my husband making something all about himself, because they know how to do relationships well. And they know that we're here supporting this woman that we love. This is her movie that we're in. And if you can master this as a mother, as a wife, as a friend, as a colleague, oh my God, you will have people eating out of the palms of your hands. Because this is such a lost art right now. For some reason, this is something that a lot of people have forgotten, maybe because they didn't receive it so much in childhood. And so then you don't really know how to practice it yourself. So here's here's a funny little thing that happened with my daughter, Alina. So I think this was like 2 days ago. Irfan ordered wings during lunchtime, and my younger two kids were at school, and it was just me, Arman, and Irfan at home. So he ordered wings, and so we had wings, and we had ordered some for the younger two kids too, and we put them in the fridge. But by the time they came home, we had decided that we were all going to go out to eat, and so we went out to eat, and then I totally forgot about the wings. Later that night, I was telling Alina kind of a story. I said, oh my God, you're not gonna believe what I did. I said to her, I ate hot wings and then I rubbed my eye and it was burning. And she goes, wings? You had wings without me? And I'm like, well, yeah, we did get you some as well. And then I'm like, did you think that mommy and daddy don't eat when you go to work? Like our movie stops. And then she started laughing, of course, like because it's like, she's like, no, I know you guys eat. But when I told Irfan that story, he was like, yeah, she thinks that when she goes to school, we just like freeze up in the position that she left us. And then when she comes home, her movie starts again. And then we start moving and interacting with her. So we had a good laugh about this in the evening, and she thought it was hilarious too. But I think that unfortunately, a lot of adults think that too. They don't realize that, you know, that there are multiple movies playing. I think we do this with children too. Like we think they're supposed to be in our movie, that they're just there to be extras in our movie, that they don't have their own movies. Like I constantly see moms kind of like embarrassing their children by screaming at them in public, or like doing all kinds of things, and it's just like, like, you're forgetting that in their movie, like, they're playing the main lead. And so if you're screaming at them in front of their kids, or in front of their friends, I mean, or their teachers or things like that, that's really traumatizing to them. It's like embarrassing for them. So in that situation, personally, what I would do is recognizing that right now I'm playing a role, I'm playing mom in their movie. I would let whatever is happening happen, or be more gentle if I did need to correct something immediately because it was a little bit more urgent, and then have a private conversation with them on the drive home or at home and saying, hey, I noticed you were saying that or doing this or whatever, right? So knowing that there are multiple stories. So you guys thought that was funny, huh? Yes, this happened a few days ago. We were just laughing about it. It's very important to understand how to play certain roles in certain settings. Tact is key. Just being aware, okay, what movie is the main movie running today? What is like, oh, I'm at my husband's family event, so I'm a part in his movie. Okay, and then, when you're just doing your own thing, you've got your movie. And then if some women, we have all kinds of people. We have some people that don't realize that their partner has a movie, and then we have some women that don't realize that they have a movie. If you only participate in his movie, meaning you've lost your identity, you no longer have likes or dislikes, you just go along with everything he's saying, you're never giving him the opportunity to come over to your movie. You don't even know that you have your movie, right? And so you're really messing up that energy balance in that situation as well. So it really does go both ways. But I hope you enjoyed this kind of a teaser training celebrating our Wife to Self-Study program. So in the next 2 days, for the next 48 hours, I'm doing a huge pre-order price. Also, here's some other things you need to know. So it has been brought to my attention that Affirm, Klarna, and Afterpay currently are only working for US students, for US creators. And that doesn't sit right with me, because when I Google where Klarna and Afterpay pay are available, they show other countries. So I've had 3 meetings with my team, and what we're trying to do is we're trying to figure out why these services, these extended payment plan services, provide these services in other countries but are not doing it for non-US based creators. So we have been working on your behalf. Trust me, we're having meetings with them constantly back and forth, trying to figure out, hey, can you open this to at least all the countries that you already provide the service in? We're not asking for you to make up like new company policies, but since you already provide it in like Australia, UK, Canada, a lot of these countries, why not just give it to Thinkific creators as well? So we're in those meetings. I don't know what the outcome will be. I'm telling you this because let's like co-manifest it, make it so that other people can have these extended payment plans as well. So what I've done for Wifed is there's 2 things you can do. If you are based in the US, then you can check out using the pay in full price and get the extended payment plans from Affirm, Klarna, or Afterpay at checkout. If you're not based in the US or you prefer to use my payment plan, then scroll down to the bottom of the sales page on Wife Self Study and you can use my payment plan option. So that's what I'm going to have to do right now until they can uh maybe it's the package. Well, no, Thinkific is just as confused because they want to offer it to everyone that they possibly can't offer it to as well. So I've met with Thinkific 3 times already trying to figure this out with the people that we're using to provide the service, which is another third party payment processing. And I have another meeting tonight. So we're going to figure this out. We'll see what's happening. We'll see if there's anything they can do to provide it for my non-US based people, especially in the countries that they already provide the service in. Like that seems like a no-brainer, right? The other thing I'm going to finalize is if we can have a community section for Wife self-study so that you guys can have contact with the other students. And if you choose to, you can have accountability partners and friendships and things like that. It's optional, of course. I would never force anyone to have to study with anyone, especially when it's called self-study. But if you wanted to, we're working on that behind the scenes as well. I love you. Thank you so much for spending time with me. And I will see you guys in Wifed and some of you guys this weekend in the Rebirth Intensive. All right, babes. I love you. Bye.